Did you know that Nintendo has had their fair share in the virtual pet market? And no, we're not talking about Nintendogs in this video. We're talking about the handheld virtual pets that have the more straightforward controls to them. Back in 1996, the virtual pet market blew up due to Bandai's introduction of the hottest new toy, Tamagotchi. It was one of the most popular toy fads of the 90s and early 2000s that everyone had to get on. The premise is simple. You'd buy this egg-shaped keychain which housed a Tamagotchi pet, an egg would hatch, and you'd basically have to take care of it, keeping watch of its hunger, happiness, discipline, weight, and even its age. All those things until the inevitable ending would come. And then the cycle would start all over. Many different versions of the Tamagotchi would come along, as well as other companies giving a try at this new toy. But the one we're talking about today is none other than Nintendo's virtual pets. Nintendo joined in on this virtual pet craze by using one of their most iconic characters at the time, Pikachu. It's literally the pocket monster that everyone knew of, so it was the perfect toy. Nintendo released the first version of the Pocket Pikachu in Japan and North America in 1998 with a design reminiscent of a yellow Game Boy Color. The device even shared the same similarities with a matching button layout and monochrome LCD screen. The concept was a little bit more forgiving with Pikachu rather than Tamagotchi for the fact that there wasn't a need to feed or clean up after him. The Pocket Pikachu had a pedometer inside of it that counted 1 watt for every 20 steps taken. These watts would be used as currency for either gambling or giving Pikachu some gifts. The more you'd walk with Pikachu, the closer he would get with you, and more activities would be unlocked. The more you would neglect Pikachu, the further he would distance himself until he would sadly, not care for you. About a year later, Nintendo would release the successor to the original Pocket Pikachu, the Pocket Pikachu 2 GS. GS standing for gold and silver. This time, the virtual pet device came in this gray and white sparkle color with an actual colored screen. Instead of a plain monochrome screen like the first device, the Pocket Pikachu 2 used a color passive matrix display to give Pikachu a yellow hint and green background. Both devices played in a similar fashion, except this newer device had the ability to communicate with Gen 2 Pokemon games via infrared. With the watts gained from walking, you were able to send over mystery gifts into your game. It wasn't a huge step up, but a colored screen and the ability to transfer items into your game was a cool concept. Within the same year, Nintendo would actually go on to publish a Hello Kitty version of the Pocket Pikachu under no other fitting name than the Pocket Hello Kitty. This time, the device came in a pink plastic case with the same exact button layout. It was much easier marketing the same toy to different kids at the time. It had the same premise as the Pocket Pikachu, except there was a minigame called Kitty Force where you could find rare items, different outfits you could have Kitty pose in, and of course different animations fit for Hello Kitty. On top of the Pocket Hello Kitty, and roughly a year later, Nintendo would actually partner with Sega, Red, Media Factory, and Jupiter to release the Pocket Sakura alongside Sakura Wars for the Game Boy. The Pocket Sakura once again used the same shell and button layout, except in a hot pink color with different labels. This device was based more on walking around Japan and adding different sites to a gallery rather than taking care of the main protagonist, Sakura Shinguji. Like the Pocket Pikachu and Pocket Hello Kitty, the Pocket Sakura would have the user walk in order to reach the destination and gain points in order to purchase new items for the Game Boy game, or even for the minigame that was based inside the device itself. Although Hello Kitty and Sakura aren't Nintendo IPs, I still think it's interesting to see that they published these using the same design as both of the Pocket Pikachus. But this wouldn't be the end for Nintendo and their virtual pets. 10 years later, Nintendo would bring back a virtual pet device with the release of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver for the DS. The name being the Pokewalker. This time, the device had a disc-shaped shell with a matching Pokeball design and 3 buttons to control the system. Like the original Pocket Pikachu 2 GS, the Pokewalker was much more intelligent and was able to gain experience for your Pokemon by transferring them into the Pokewalker and walking with them. With watts being the same walking currency, of course, you'd be able to catch 3 Pokemon and find 3 items on the device alone. On top of all this, you're able to search up to 27 different areas using the Pokewalker as well, all ranging from different amounts of watts needed, and 7 of the areas obtained by special events. This virtual pet device was a huge step up from what was released 10 years prior. At the time as well, the Pokewalker was researched to be one of the best pedometers by an Iowa State University study. In more modern times, there has been an Eevee Tamagotchi release, but that's pretty much it for Nintendo and their virtual pets. Unless you want to count this bootleg Pikachu that I found made in China? I've always loved such weird peripherals like these from Nintendo because it just gives a different look into what they used to achieve alongside their games.